It went right down. Chicago PMI was much better than expected, and it looks like it was tradable. And the only reason I did not have a trade room is just holiday trading, quiet, but that looks like a pretty normal, very possibly a good move on Chicago PMI. So that's something come the first of the year next month. That's one of the trades that we look at, one of the reports we look at. Good morning, everybody. So now you've got pending homes. If I was going to set up a sample trade for pending homes has never worked very well. I would use a 6 bracket on gold, a target of 4, a target of 12, a stop of 10, and an entry time of 10 o'clock if I were trading gold on it. Depending on liquidity and even the ability of gold to trade safely. That's been the big issue with pending homes lately. You could also look at the ES on pending homes. Chicago PMI looked quite tradable. So that's our gold trade for pending homes. If I was going to do the ES, let me just record this. If I were going to do the ES, I would do a 6 bracket also, at least. Similar, it's ironic, but it's similar sizes. Targets of 4 and 10, a stop of 10. Entry time would also be 10 o'clock on the ES for pending homes. I'm just testing these. Pending homes has never been a trade that we've ever made money on. It never works. You hate to use the word never. It rarely has worked. It just hasn't been a good trade. Pending homes. I'm going to check my sync real quick by going to the website time.is. All right, I did it on the side just because we're very close to these trades. There's not a lot of time. Then we'll do crude oil. That's why we're here. So I'm looking at gold on the left for pending homes, looking at the ES. Look how choppy the ES has been since the open. Very, very choppy. Okay, so it's coming up now. The best test you can do, just for knowledge, just for your knowledge, the best test you can do is a simulated, if you aren't ready to trade something with live real money, the next best test is real market data like we have now in a simulation. It's much better than the replay servers. So pending homes with gold on the left, pending homes with the ES on the right. The ES is very volatile. Negative news, the ES should go down, gold should go up. It's negative news, not horrendously negative. You're not getting a very impactful move. That's one of the other things that we see with pending homes. You just don't get a very good move. I would cancel the trade when you don't get a good move. Maybe the offset is not big enough, 0.6. It's not bad. So gold not really responding this morning. And neither is the ES. Just not getting a response. Sometimes the response is late. That's why I haven't canceled, but it's almost a minute after the news. You know, we can go concentrate on oil. Pending homes is a trade that never has shown itself to be worth trading. New homes and existing homes have both been tradable, okay? Pending homes has not been. Now, the shame is Chicago PMI is a tiny little report, but we know something about it. We know something secretive about Chicago PMI, and you're going to have to wait till next month and be a member to find that out. I'm not just going to give that away, even though yesterday I said I give everything away. It's too much of a secret. But pending homes, just not very impactful. No surprise there. It never is. It is inconsistent. It doesn't work well. So just remember that pending homes is not one of our reports. Okay. It's not one of our reports that we look to trade because it does not make money regularly. That's why. If it doesn't make money regularly, we're not that interested in trading it. Okay. So we're looking at crude this morning. Let's talk about crude a little bit. Crude's bullish right now. It's 27 ticks up since 6 p.m. last night. So it looks way more bullish than it is on an hourly chart. In a half-hour chart, crude's gone wild, right? Crude has moved from 47.61 over 100 ticks in 30 minutes. Over 100 ticks in 30 minutes. That's, something's going on with crude. So I'm looking in my news. Is the OPEC might have said something. I'm looking to see if I see any crude specific news since 9:30. So I don't really see any. I don't see any news. I don't see any news. So crude, we have not. Crude has not been trading for us a lot, but it seems to be changing. Today is probably not the day to trade crude. We don't have a report. I think what we want to do is let my boss look at crude over the past 6 to 10 to 12 weeks and see if he comes up with a new setup for crude. In the old days, crude was a traditional breakout trade. I mean, that's how we traded crude. Traditional breakout trade. The traditional breakout on crude stopped working for a very long time. Crude has not been working as a breakout or had not been working as a breakout for months. We have not been trading it as a breakout. The only thing we've been doing occasionally is trading crude as a reversal. That's the only thing we've been doing. When the opportunities, and there have not been a lot of opportunities. You look at today's chart, and it's kind of interesting. because you've got some interesting reversal areas. Right now, crude is 48.30. If there's a drawdown that's close to what's expected, and it goes to the high, this green line here, then you might want to risk a reversal at this green line. That green line, that's the high of the day. It's potentially an interesting reversal point. Okay. If crude goes to that area, not super duper fast, okay, if it pops to that area and stops, then it might be a possible reversal area. It's possible. Okay, it's the high of the day. It's a little bit close. It's only 23 ticks away, but honestly, crude has not been moving ultra far on the reports. There's been a couple where it has moved quite extensively, but overall, over the past 6 months, it really just has not been moving that much. It's been quite muted. We've said it over and over in the trade room. Now, crude is extremely bullish right now. For whatever reason, there's something. No, the trap trade is a completely separate strategy, Liz. It has nothing to do. It's not the reversal trade. The reversal trade is in our setup on the strategy. Trap trade is a separate entity. And what we'll probably do in January, we'll have a webinar on the trap trade. I'll teach people what the trap trade is. We don't do a lot of trap trades these days, but maybe we should. We should start looking at more. If you look at trade type, when you put the strategy on your chart, one of the choices is reversal. The trap trade, you're probably confused because of what I said yesterday about the trap trade. The trap trade is a strategy that you use if you're expecting a reversal in the event. Okay. So it is a reversal strategy, but it's not our traditional reversal trade. Okay. Now, you could set up crude for a trap trade if you want to try. We've tried that in the past. It was not consistent, but it's been a long time since we've done it. One of the issues that we're always dealing with is you have to try and maximize your time. You have to do things. You can only do so many tests. You only have so much time. So the PP is at 48.04 on crude. That generally is a good reversal area. It's hard to see the PP, but it's there. It's right here. That's the PP. It's a central pivot. It's a very popular pivot that people look at. Okay. If crude got down to there and there was a drawdown, that might not be a bad place to take a long, okay, or to risk a long. The place to risk a short might be if crude gets up to the high of the day up here, which is fairly close to the current price. It depends how much crude moves before the trade. Right there is the high of the day. So those are some areas you might look at if you were interested in taking a crude reversal. One of the problems is crude has moved over 100 ticks in the last half hour. You might not want to trade crude this morning because of that. You might just say, look, crude's acting really volatile this morning. Do I need to take a risky trade to begin with? Crude's a risky trade to begin with. You're adding risk with that tremendous volatility. That is not normal. Okay. That's not a normal crude move before the report. That's unusual. So something's going on with crude in the world. That's world news that probably is affecting crude. But I don't see anything in particular that would have caused that in any of my news feeds. I'm looking in my various news feeds. I just don't see anything. Just don't see anything at 9:30. I just don't see anything to cause that move. And I don't hear anything on the squawk box. So last week, what's interesting is Crude gave us what I believe, if my memory is correct, I believe that Crude gave us a normal breakout trade last week, and it had a reversal. If you look at 1223, this was last week's Crude. So it was December 23rd. Okay, this is what the chart looked like, December 23rd. So you had a high of the day, you had a PP way below. Let's see what Crude did. My memory is it had a breakout. In other words, it burst. And I had set up both trades. I set up a breakout. So I used our daily report to set up a breakout. The breakout filled to the long side, chopped around a little bit, looked like it was going to stop us out. And it behaved pretty slowly. There was it hit the first target, and then you would want to take a short near that second target because that second target's right at the high of the day, and Crude's moving pretty slowly. It all took place rather slowly. It struggled to hit that second target. So if you watch it, it's going to hit that second target. Or I think if I remember, I might have moved my target down to get out of the trade. Let's see. I'm waiting for that target to get hit. It's not getting hit. I moved the target down to get out of the trade, and now I take the reversal at the high of the day. Take the reversal. Bingo. You're risking $200 on the reversal. You made about 100 on the breakout, and the reversal works. It's up 6 ticks, 8 ticks, 11 ticks. And there it goes, 20 ticks. So that was a very interesting Crude trade. Crude has not been giving us those types of trades in a very long time. I do not trust Crude well enough. Liz, you don't have the new strategy yet. It hasn't been people haven't been told to download it. It's up now. It's up now. We're going to send an email for the new year. For the new year. And you just, I would probably uninstall the existing strategy and then reinstall the new one. What you do is you go to Tools, remove Ninja Script Assembly. And when you click on that, you will see Joe Brackett Breakout. Remove that. Reboot your platform. Download the new version, 2.9.3, and it has the word hold on it, 2.9.3 hold. That's the brand new strategy. I just put it up about 5 minutes ago. And it will have all the extra things in it. So today's crude, I'll put a live reversal up there. I'll put a live reversal up there. My gut feeling is not sure I want to trade crude today. I will trade natural gas tomorrow because we almost always trade natural gas these days. This move in crude just has me a little bit uncomfortable. But if we get what looks like a perfect reversal, I might consider it. So to set it up, I put the strategy on the chart. I would only risk one target and one contract. And my target would be 15 ticks. And my stop, I would make 18 ticks. So I'm risking $180. I'm looking maybe to make 150. And then as long as I choose reversal trade, apply it and okay it. Let me label it. Go back to the strategy, highlight it. Let me scroll down. Also, let me make it a real trade. Put my account on it, and I'm going to label it reversal CL. Okay, storage. If there's not much of a move, then when you enable it, you get your buttons. Okay, you get your buttons. The buttons allow you to enter the trade long or short, and you're protected with your stops and targets that you entered into the strategy. So let's double check that we did that properly because we have plenty of time. So I'm just looking to trade one position for a target of 15 ticks. I'm risking 18 ticks. Just trading very simply. Reversal trade is my trade type. Okay. I'm using a real account. And then when I okay it and enable it, I get my buttons. I right click the chart. I go to crosshair and I turn off my crosshair. So I get an arrow. When you have an arrow, it's easier to click the buttons. If I decide that I want to take a trade, okay, we'll watch the breakout, the oil breakout next week. If it's really looking like crude has made a turn and that the breakouts are starting to work really well, maybe we'll start trying the crude breakouts for a while and see if they're working with real money. If crude, over the years, honestly, folks, crude's never been, this particular report has not been a great moneymaker. There's better reports to trade. And it's due to the inconsistent behavior of crude on the report. There is no time set on a reversal trade because a reversal trade is discretionary entry, Salvador, so you don't need to set a time. If you set a time, how do you know it's the right time for the reversal? Right? You don't. So you don't want to set a time for a reversal trade. Maybe one day we'll. The interesting thing about the trap trade does have a time. And I will have a webinar on the trap trade. I'll do that. I think I would like to get back into the trap trade again. It might be a very good tool that we can start using again. It's a good strategy. It's definitely a good strategy. The trap trade becomes problematic when you don't get the reversal, when the event just keeps moving in the same direction. Then what happens is it keeps going, and you get stopped out. It keeps going in that one direction instead of reversing. So that's every trade has risk. I mean, that's the name of the game. Every trade has risk. Let's check our time. And that's the risk of the trap trade. The risk of the trap trade is if it doesn't reverse, you could get stopped out when it keeps moving in the same direction. So I'm going to go to the website time.is to check my time. And I'm in sync. So we'll see. So the couple of areas that I'm interested in, we're never going to get, I wouldn't say we're never going to get to the low of the day. If I got to the low of the day, I would consider a long there, depending on, how the price is moving. But again, because, you have to look at crude as being extremely bullish. Certainly from 9:30 to now, crude is extremely bullish. So I might do nothing on this trade because of the risk. Yesterday, the API, we trade that trade every week without thinking about it, just because it's one of the trades we trade every week. And there's a bunch of trades like that. As you spend more and more time with us, you'll come to know what those trades are. And then some trades are what we call 50-50s. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So you want to try and trade the trades that are behaving the best at the time. I mean, that's the way to do it. If you have a trade that has been stopped out 3 times in a row, you probably want to put that trade on watch. You might want to take a month off, see what's going on. Something's not right if it doesn't work 3 times in a row. Once or twice in a row is not necessarily a reason to panic. 3 times it gets my radar up. Definitely gets my radar up. There's no doubt about it. So I'm not real interested in taking a short, even if it goes to the high of the day, because of this tremendous bullishness in crude today. And if there's a big burst, I'm going to probably wait to see what the news result is, because I got really burned on a trade by reversing too fast when there was a 15 million barrel build. That was monstrous, a monstrous build. So you want to just be careful and smart when the event news is so far against you. Like, for this morning, they're expecting a drawdown of minus 2.5 million. If it's minus 3 million, that's actually good for reversals because it's not a monstrous difference. Good morning, Kershit. So it's just not a monstrous difference. So those are things that you think about as well. So tomorrow our only room is going to be the natural gas room. And then we'll have the New Year's. We'll take a couple of days off and we'll gear up for next week. Next week's going to be very busy. Lots of trades next week. We can count on that. The first week of the month is always busy.
So I look at the recent strength in Apple heading into year end, and I attribute it really primarily to the iPhone, which remains their core product.
So we'll see if we're going to get a muted move today. Remember, we had a over 100 tick move before the report, but crude for the past half hour has been in a consolidation mode. That definitely bodes well for a reasonably normal reaction to the report. But crude, unfortunately, hasn't been having normal reactions except over the past 3 or 4 weeks. For months and months and months and months, crude's been very muted. It hasn't been having good moves to the report. So it hasn't been offering great opportunities. It's been very challenging. That's the truth. It's been very challenging to trade. Now, I'll stick around and answer questions if people want to ask me questions after the trade. Like Liz had a great question. She wasn't seeing all the trade setups. All right. So I am listening to Financial Juice in my headphones. I'm going to hear the news probably before we see it. So, I might risk $180 on this trade if I feel there's an honorable reversal. If I don't feel there's a good trade, I just won't take it. And I'm never embarrassed about taking or not taking a trade. I trade plenty of times live during the month. I don't have to make excuses for myself. You know that I trade when I think it's going to give us the best opportunity for a profit. Otherwise, I don't. And I miss plenty of trades also. I'm far from perfect. So that's not high enough of a burst, right? And it's a very big drawdown. It should drive the price up. Going to R1, it's only a 10 tick pop, right? It's not enough. It wasn't enough to reverse. Ironically, it would have worked beautifully today. It would have worked beautifully. But it's nobody's fault that it only went 12 ticks on the move. That's not a very big move. I was looking for it to go to here. Okay. That would have been the proper place to take the reversal. Here, you just have it's sort of in never land. R1 is not a super strong pivot point. Is it the best news squawk? I'm not sure it's the best news squawk, Liz. It's a very fair priced news squawk. Now, the news is a very big drawdown. So once again, I would not be that interested in the reversal, folks, because of the fact that it's a 6 million drawdown versus expected 2 million. I think crude is going to head up. Okay, I'm going to put my chart in sim and show you. I'm not, I told you I wasn't that interested in this trade. It's not my fault that I missed a 10 tick, 12 tick move. That's nobody's fault. Nobody would know that. That's a muted move, 12 ticks. Okay. It went to 39 and then it did do a very nice reversal. But normally I want that reversal a little bit closer to the high of the day. Okay. Even if it had only gone about 5 more ticks, I might have been more interested in taking it. I might have been much more interested in taking it. But you could see, even with that huge drawdown, you're just not getting that much of a powerful move. And you probably only would have hit target 1 on your breakout trade. It probably would not have hit both targets. So for whatever reason, crude made its move before the report this morning. Something was going on in the world that created a very big move in crude. If it gets to that high, because crude is so sleepy, if it got 5 ticks away from that within the next 3 minutes, I might be interested in that. If it got down to the PP in the next 3 minutes, I might be interested in the long. You might even be interested in the long if it gets to the 6 p.m. open, because the PP will keep your stop safe, because you'd use an 18 tick stop. So you could enter around 13 and 04 would not stop you out. But you could see you just don't really have a dramatic crude move from this news. And you're looking for a little bit more drama out of the move to take a reversal. And yes, of course, I know it worked, but it only went 10 ticks. Or look, at the most, 13 at the most. That's not a lot of ticks to reverse normally on a crude report. I'd like to see a 20 tick move.
Providing the states with some autonomy on how to best use the vaccines within their needs does not mean that you leave them without meaningful support and logistics support.
So you could just see, just not a very impactful move. Okay, not an impactful move. It's 4 minutes after the report. There's no doubt. The green number on the left is an indicator called net change display. It's part of Ninja Trader, Salvador, and it's free. It's an indicator called net change display. I use it because it shows me net change display. I just install it. shows me how much crude has moved since the 6 p.m. the day before. I like that indicator. I like to know. And you could show it in points. You could show it in ticks. You could show it in currency. You can choose how you want it to show. But so you could see there's just not really a lot of action with crude today. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. There wasn't really much of a trade. So that's the way it is. I'll still trade natural gas tomorrow. Originally, I was going to have a trade room at 8 in the morning for the Thursday jobless numbers. But folks, it's the day before, it's New Year's Eve day. And that report has been very, very small moving as of late. So I thought really we should just concentrate on natural gas tomorrow, because that trade I'm interested in trading. I'm going to take that trade. And there's a possibility for 2 trades on natural gas. You have a possible reversal and you have a possible breakout. I'm trading the breakout, and I'll have a reversal set up at the same time. So natural gas, that'll be a real trade. The other trade, if it wasn't a holiday, I would have had a trade room for tonight's Chinese news. But again, you've got so many holidays coming up in the world tomorrow. So many holidays that even if this maybe the Chinese news will move, maybe it won't. The opportunities are just not very big this time of year. Next month, we will trade that report because I do trade it. But New Year's, the day before New Year's Eve, I just don't think it's a smart risk of our money. I'm being conservative, I don't want anybody to do foolish things. If I wouldn't trade my family's money, I wouldn't want you to trade yours, okay? So you could see crude can't even get up to the high of the day, even with a very good drawdown. There was a big drawdown, 6 million, okay? 6 million barrels. And crude made its move early for some reason today. So we noticed that, and it kept us safe. Nothing, there really just wasn't a big trade here. Kershid, you can download the software now. Anybody that wants to download the software now, the new version's up. We'll have an email go out. But you're welcome to download the new software. What you should do is uninstall your current version. If you have it installed, you go to Tools, remove Ninja Script Assembly, and up top it will say JOBB Breakout. Okay? Don't remove the trap trade. Remove the breakout. Okay? Remove the breakout trade. You don't see it on my software because I use a special version of the software. Okay? I don't use the same version. I use the same version as you do, but there are differences. It loads into my Ninja differently than it loads into yours. Okay. All the features are exactly the same. So uninstall it and then install it. You install it by going to Tools, download the software, and then import Ninja Script add-on file. It'll bring up File Explorer, find the file, okay? And I can tell you definitively what the file is called is it has the word hold in it, okay? It's the only Joe Brackett breakout that has the word hold in it. That's the correct version, 2.9.3, okay? Double click it and it will install. If you get any questions about a newer file wants to be installed, say yes. Let it install a newer file. Okay? Always say yes if it asks you if it can have permission to install a newer file. You want newer files to install. Okay? Any questions or problems, we can talk about it in the trade room tomorrow or anytime next week also. Anybody have any questions? You could just see that Crude just didn't really feel like moving, and it moved over 100 ticks before the trade. That sort of gave me a heads up that we probably would not have a trade today. That's just not normal, okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. You have to live with it. No problem, Kim. Anybody have any questions before we go for the day? Go ahead, Brian. Uh-oh. When Brian has a question, I duck. Because he's usually going to zing me. Not true. Okay. Best practice, running NT7 or NT8 with or without antivirus software. I usually turn my antivirus off before I trade, Brian, and then I keep it on the rest of the day. I just don't like it running in the background when I'm trading fast events. So I generally turn it off. Today, on a reversal trade, doesn't really matter, but on fast news trades, I would disable virus and malware programs just for like 10 minutes while you're trading, and then I would put them back on for the day. That's how I do it. Live. If I'm trading live, I don't want my virus program running in the background. I want to use as yeah, let me know how that works out, Brian. Let me know how that works out. Oh, Windows Defender. I don't use Windows Defender very much. I use AVG. I'll tell you what I've been told is the best antivirus, anti-malware program is Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes. It's relatively inexpensive, and it works against ransomware also. Let me show you. I use it. I also, it doesn't interfere with my trading. I often forget to turn it off, and it never interferes with my trading. This is the program. Malwarebytes, and it's very inexpensive. You can cover like, I think 3 to 4 machines for like $60 a year, and you can try it for 2 weeks for free. And yeah, Defender is installed automatically with Windows. You can disable it, Brian. And it's not, I mean, I don't have a problem with Defender generally. I just think it does not give the protection that Malwarebytes does. And I have found and done some research on AVG, and AVG gets pretty good marks also from the Malwarebyte websites and stuff, the malware websites. But Malwarebytes, price-wise, is pretty good. $59.99, and I believe they give you multiple machines for $59.99. $23.99 per machine, but they have deals. I have 3 or 4 machines covered for about $60. Yeah, Ninja doesn't have any recommendations. No surprise there. They don't make a commitment to anything, generally. But that's been my experience, Brian. I like Malwarebytes. and AVG. Those have been my two favorites.
Costs down to achieve your gross margin targets of roughly 32%, your EBITDA margin targets.
All right, folks. But you could see crude is bullish. I don't see the point of taking a crude reversal. You have a big negative drawdown, which makes the price want to go up, and the price went up over 100 ticks before the news. So I would not short crude today. Not right now. Certainly not right now. Of course, it could work, but I wouldn't do it. It's not a high priority. It's not a high opportunity. It's not a high level opportunity. See, there's where I wanted to short it. And it might work. It might fail at the high, but you have things against you. A 6 million barrel drawdown. That drives price up, not down. So why take the shot? High probability. Right. Go with the higher probability. You're better off looking for a long crude trade somewhere down the road today, possibly. It's looking very bullish. All right, folks. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll see everybody at 10 tomorrow for natural gas. If there's no other questions, Kershid, thank you. Liz, I hope I answered your question. And Liz, we will get more into the trap trade. So just for fun, Liz, say you were going to set up a trap trade. If you want to fool around with it, here's how you do it. So the trap trade, remember, it's a reversal strategy, right? Forget contraction. We never used it. It's something my boss tried to do and it never got enabled. So never use contraction. I should have the programmer take it out. I use price at the time for the bracket center, okay? I don't like to average prices. So my position 1 is 1 position. Position 2 should be 1 position, okay? Wait for spike, make it 0, okay? That has to do, if you think there's going to be a giant spike, you could delay the trade. You can delay the trade. Stop loss position should be the last fill price. I don't use averages, okay? So let's say so that's how I would set up 2 orders, 2 positions, and then we call the targets tiers. So you have a target of 20 ticks above the current price and 30 ticks above the current price and below. So to do a trap trade, let's say you were going to do a trap trade at 10:50. So you put the exact time of the trade on, and then 45 seconds, or I use 30 seconds order preparation time. 30 seconds before 10:50, it's going to allow me to adjust my trap orders, my tiers. Let me show you what I mean. So we put the order on for 10. Let's make it 10:49:30. So we don't have to wait. 10:49:30. Nope, I'm not going to have time. 10:50, I'm sorry. But 30 seconds before that, it's going to give me the opportunity to adjust my orders. Watch what I mean. So I'm going to create a trap trade with oil. Okay, so I goofed. What did I do wrong? I forgot to enter my time. So I have to have the programmer fix that also. It should cancel all those orders out. Hold on. So with the trap trade, don't forget to set your time. I set the time wrong. 10:50 is past. Bear with me a second. Let's set it for 10:52. All right. Entry time is 10:52. Hold on. Something. It's been so long since I've done trap trades. I'm going to have to pull out an old video.
Now, under this program, businesses would be able to get a grant worth
I want to set it at 1052. For some reason, I'm not getting my icon, which tells me it's not going to trigger. Let's see what happens. Let me see what happens at 1052. I may not have my trap trade enabled. In other words, I'm using a protected version of the software, and my machine ID is possibly not enabled. Okay, so let's assume that everything's fine. So it's set up for a trap trade. You see, you have your tiers, 20 and 30 ticks above this arrow, which is the current price. The idea in a trap trade is it's supposed to go up and fill you short and then reverse down, and you make money as it goes down. Or it's supposed to go down first and fill you long. If you notice, on the downside, they are buys. On the upside, they are sells. So the idea is it bursts down, fills you long, and reverses, and you make your money on the reversal. Okay. MIT is a market if touched order. So it means if the market just touches the price, it'll fill. A limit is a specific price. Okay. So if you want to fool around with the trap, Liz, you can do that. And I'm going to get it slightly. There's a slight, we haven't been trading with it in a very long time. So I'll have the programmer fix the orders should cancel out when you cancel the trade. But you can still experiment with it, practice on reversal trades, see if you like it. It's still a very valid strategy. We just haven't used it a lot because the breakouts, they work a lot better. Anybody else want to ask a question? Anybody else? Okay. All right, folks. So I'll see everybody at 10 for natural gas tomorrow. I do anticipate taking a trade on that. Okay. So we'll end the year with a win or a loss. Something will happen. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. Okay. So have a good rest of your day, folks. And I'll see everybody later. Take care.